Good evening, Earthlings. For it is I, Sergeant Stevens. Welcome to another evening of Level Design. Tonight, we are going to recreate before we can decimate. Thinking we need to create a level in which we are mostly elevated. We're going to take to the scaffolding, and we're going to build out something cool. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's begin here. Hope everyone's having a good evening. No gravity sickness. Alright. So earlier today, I created a little template for what we're going to do here. I want to start out fresh, right at the beginning of this map segment. We're going to take you straight up in the air. Excuse me. I have some enemies set in place, but they're not working the way I intended. We have this turret wasp that shoots stingers at you. I don't know if I'm layering it correctly or not, but in theory, it could work. But for now, we're going to just keep building out here. We're going to clean up a little bit from my previous work. Toss these in here. Huts, any buildings we see. What's up? How's everybody doing? Da 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 da. Had a long week, went out to Saturn, then to Jupiter and back home to Earth. You're all doing well. All right, we're going to start fresh here. Clean slate. Welcome, everybody. Lance Johnson, I see you've made it. I haven't pulled you to the game yet. So let me go ahead and get into this and give you a little rundown. We're starting with a 200-unit map segment here. Sometimes I like to throw in a 300 for the village, make it a little longer. Help me recreate the scene here. But for tonight, we're going to do a 200. I've elevated the background piece, the background grass here a little bit. The vision is to create a secondary level of scaffolding for the background in this section to kind of thicken up the village vibes. So this little area is going to be, yes, Robert, it is very dark web today. It's kind of the theme, but I'm open to suggestions in the future, or maybe even tonight. We'll see how this playlist goes. What I want to do is create some background, scale down some scaffolding sections. Maybe it's on fire, maybe it's not, well, hard to say. But create a thickness, depth to our little scaffolding area. This level, like I said in the beginning, yes it was, I want it to be elevated for the majority of it. I want to take Lance on a journey. The whole village theme is kind of flat, right? So with this new perspective we've got going here, kind of walking along this path, little ups and downs here and there. I want to take Lance up to the top. And the fun thing about tonight is that we're going to do this, we're going to have fun with it, and if it sticks, it sticks. Who knows, you might even see it in the game. But yeah, so no background pieces yet, just a little bit of elevation in the background grass, a couple pieces I started with just to kind of give me an idea to work off of this evening. Yeah. And so we can kind of touch those up and that those in. I can kind of give you a detail of what I did here. I put a couple little pits. I'll put some turret wasps in here. And the idea is to have them triggered. You run across here, they start shooting their little stingers at you. But they're kind of peeking out the bottom here, and I'm not really sure what's going on there. It might be something I'm doing, but we'll test it later. And it could be anything. We can make some fire down here. We can put some spikes, but we're going to do some stilts here. We're going to want a little support system for this bridge connecting these houses. And then we can add some background pieces, but we can get going with that. But yeah, so elevated, maybe some stuff back here, a little bit of grass and terrain for the background here. Maybe some more grass and terrain kind of closer up the background. We'll see how this lays out. Let's kind of piece it together by section here. Let's jump into it. New QB for the Titans. So, American football. It's an interesting sport. I think that Cam Ward was predictable. Shedeur Sanders could have been one, but he, from what I hear, is a little bit difficult to work with because of his dad. Cam Ward's a stud, but they also have, what's that quarterback they have? Mr. Mayo. Mr. Mayo. Dude loves mayo and coffee. And he was supposed to be a stud. They drafted him early, and he's a dud. So hopefully there's no curse there. If you actually look at the wide receiving core for the Titans, it could be dangerous if Cam decides to turn on the Jets this season. But my heart lays with Cincinnati. I was stationed there for 5 years, and I'm going to tell you, it's a really fun town. And they've got a great sports organization, albeit a non-winning sports organization. But we love them nonetheless. Anyway, so let me just get started here. I want to finish this out, creating kind of like a little bit of a kind of support system here for this little bridge, just to, kind of just get started. Knock the wax off, as they say. We don't want it that thick. We don't want a thick boy. We want a medium size. Probably do something like that. This way. Do some cross beams. Get those a little thicker. What do you think? I think so. I like to leave a little edge for when we wrap around some of the support ties. Kind of looks cool. It allows it to give some hot NFL takes. Again, I could be wrong. What do I know? I'm too busy dealing with stuff beyond the solar system. But yeah, Camboard was kind of predictable. I'm stationed in Nashville, Tennessee at the time being, so I know a little bit about that. Not a lot. Looks pretty good, I think. Go ahead and toss them back. Where they are. Back beams. Anybody have a favorite NFL team or any prospects they're looking forward to in the draft process? I don't know much about the draft, to be honest with y'all. Or like who's a favorited prospect. I know Cincinnati needs to do real well in this draft, or else it could be. Yeah, you're a little bit busy, Lance. I know. I haven't seen you in a while, but I know you're busy. Also, if the music is too loud or anything needs adjusting, y'all just drop it in the chat. Yeah, do one of those. It kind of looks a little weird. But what do y'all think about my game plan tonight? I'm going to do, like I said earlier, I'm going to do a high rise. I'm going to take you off the ground a little bit. Kind of give some elevation to... Yeah, I do too. I'm going to give some elevation to this map level. You don't want to take it too high. You don't want to be reaching the top of the camera and condensing everything and battling bugs where you can't see them. But you want to give a little bit of a... Same. Let's go vertical. You want to give a little bit of uniqueness. And not every map needs it. Sometimes you only need small parts, small areas. But I think for this one, we're going to go big. What I did there is kind of, what you can do there is kind of place this where you like it. Take these cross beams back out. Kind of adjust them to where it looks and feels a little bit better. That pretty much feels good. I think that one actually feels pretty good too. So we got it roped in. We're roped in. We're locked in. Let's get some dirt going. Kind of what I've been working with here is you want these. You can actually pass through here. So this is a drop-down platform. So we want to back this up a little bit and take it to the edge of this pathway. So we can tell the player who wants to experience what I experienced all those years ago on Pluto, that you can actually crawl down here. In case you're killing an enemy down here, you might want to pick up some tasty loot, coin. So what we're going to do is go back to this pillar here and adjust it upward. Just a smidge. About there. Probably there. Go back to the mound. Pull them up. So that tells us that we can still walk down here. Get a bit of a base, get a good foundation. I don't know why this would happen, but who knows what the Plutonians are thinking. I couldn't tell you. I got an idea for the spot. Let's make some kind of spike hazard down here, huh? Plutonians are pretty weary of what's going on in their world. Let's get some spikes. I think also this would be a cool time to There we go. Want to see Plutonians dead in the spikes or a bug dead in the spikes? Chat. Yeah, it probably is twins. This might be a family compound here. I think this was dug out for the purpose of entrapping the bugs, but we'll see what happens on this area. But right here, what do we want to see? Dead bug. Or dead Plutonian. I'm thinking of Plutonian. bug. Alright, go check. Alright, I think that's a good gap right there. You're right, get those battalions and win in this section here. Not a bad call. One thing I didn't take into consideration is if you do get down here, how do you get out? So maybe I think we should put a box here. Let me just go back and do this for the sake of... I think that works. Let's go ahead and clean this up. I like to clean my stuff up here. Scaffolding. Spikes. Spikes are hazards. Remains should go in the remains category. Look at that. We're working now here, everybody. Greats. Good. Okay. So, I think that since there's bugs encroaching the spike area, we're going to give another hut right about here. We're going to make a little tour up. So what I can do, let's go to... Yeah, put it under buildings or huts. Buildings. Right here. Duplicate that. Bring it on over. About here. Bear with me. We're going to do something cool here. So that's all fine and dandy. What we're going to want is... I think we're going to want slashed. Yeah, that's what we want. Nothing crazy yet. One moment. I want slash. Did I turn that on? I did. Turn this guy off. Alright. So we got a little bit of brutality. Didn't make it far. It landed in the spike pit here. If we can even put, actually, while I'm doing this, just put one of these down here. Kind of help build that out later. Okay, so for this, kind of going to do the same thing we did here, but we're going to put a falling piece, a fragile piece, excuse me. You see my vision. You see my vision. You see where I'm gonna go with this. What can you even do, actually? Let's go ahead. Let's just test something. This is all about. This is all about. We're testing it out. We're playing around with it. What's the difference here? Maybe we'll do A. Boom. Turn this off. We don't want to see that. Need to test something here. Okay. one's hitting, chat. This one a little bit longer. Or maybe we'll just move it. This. We're gonna test it, so just be patient. Nope. This one looks kind of weird, doesn't it? I think it's this guy. What am I seeing here? What I'm seeing is this needs to be a little bit less. Like that. Bring this over. Bring this last piece out a little bit. For now. Clean it later. Oh, here we go. Hello. What we're going to do right now, chat, is we're going to test this. Make sure this looks okay. Before I do that, we're going to bring this back over to somewhere where it lines up. And we're going to go ahead and make sure we're not loading a bunch of other stuff into here. Get my controller going. We're going to give it a little testaroonie. What'd y'all have for dinner? I had a handful of almonds. Tired of the pre-packaged meals on the ship. And some homegrown almonds. There it is. See, we got some stuff going on with these guys down here. Okay. Looks pretty cool. It works well. I don't want this to drop faster. What we can do is go in here, turn this up. Yeesh. Time to drop. Let's go. 25. No. Later. Ah, yes. Robert. Good call. Where'd that be at? Ew. Eliki. Maybe saying that wrong. But Robert, go ahead and toss that in the chat where I can adjust that. Is it this right here? For the giant wasp turret spawner. Until I get a solid answer there, we're gonna keep moving on here. Maybe I want to actually attach. Does it look weird if I do this? No, it doesn't look that weird. It kind of does with this down here. I'll go ahead and support tie down a little bit. Oh, that might not work. But I know what it can do. Excuse me, sir. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And we're back in action. Alright. Let's leave that alone for a second. Alright. Got some nice little run view here. Bam, 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 bam. Could even take it a little bit lower. Let's go ahead and do a piece of walkable terrain. You can't, the ground, not a drop through piece. Take it a little bit lower, and we'll start going back up again. Maybe enough till we can put some boxes. Let's see what size boxes we're gonna work with here. That'll work. What else we got? Those. So height-wise, I'm just testing height-wise right here. So I'm gonna go any bit taller than this. So let's bump it up a little bit. And we're gonna call this just like a little storage area for right now. We'll stretch this guy out. Ooh, wrong direction. Hey, easy now, easy. I'm saying we get like at least halfway here and we'll start decorating some other stuff. Do some background, some foreground, some decos. I don't want this to be too boring for y'all. Ideally, I'd like to go like higher up here and you can see some stuff in the background here. Put it on fire. I got an idea. Bear with me. What we'll do, I'm gonna plan this out real quick. Support pillars. Let's do, we should probably do like 3. Little background decor walkway so we can add some stuff onto it. The railing, maybe even possible a hut. Even possibly a hut. Let's go up like that. We're going to duplicate that. Let's just space it out a little bit. Like, what do you think? Should probably put one down here too, huh? Come to the end. Duplicate it. We're going here. Right here. Another about down here. And what I'll do is I'll go back and we'll just make sure we resize those gaps. Oh, yeesh. That's actually looking pretty good. We'll make sure we move number 1 over a little bit. Perfect. Don't at me, as they say. What we'll do, go back to the core here. We'll grab one of these background platforms. First, clean that up. Scaffolding. This guy, to game object off. So even for this part right here, I might not put one of these back there because we just want it to be like a little bridge section connecting these huts. This part here is going to be used for maybe other storage, maybe a couple more huts on top, background. We'll see when we get there. But for now, what I want to do actually is bring that down, probably about there. Get it about lined up, a little bit off the edge. Right there's fine. Bring it over. So now, what do you think? Right there. I think that looks good. Boom. Bada bing. Done. And this background is just strictly for the sprite. You can't walk on it. Okay. Thank you, Robert. Address that later. So what we got here is a nice little walkway. You can't drop through it. So what I'm thinking here is you can put some enemies ready to spawn. Maybe some flying ones. Got some hazards. So maybe not populate it with a bunch of enemies on top, but maybe a flying one here. Maybe something to potentially knock you down through this, or have you pause on one of these fragile platforms, jump into spikes, get out real quick. I think we're working on something here. I think as we progress here, we see like a non-tampered with hut. We see a couple non-tampered with huts. We see a slashed one. Maybe we start burning some stuff down here. Make this whole back area burned. And we can even go back through and char these up. Make them burn. But what I want to do here is to kind of give you an idea what I'm talking about. We're going to raise this guy up. Maybe to an area or to a height that you have to use a ladder. What do you think of that? Actually, funny you say that. There is... You're going to make me say it, aren't you, Butt Knuckle? There is an obfuscation over each one that they should be technically hidden, and they're at layer 10, so I'm not sure why that's not working. Maybe I need to go further with it. But anyway, back to here. I'm thinking we go higher now, right? So we get up to this range. Camera views up here, so if we're along here, we have enough room to play with. Maybe this is a rope bridge here. Kind of like a swooping segment. We'll make a pit down here. Whew, I think we're onto something. Here. Alright, let's get it cooking. Think about how I want to do this. Because what we can do is do a rope bridge, right? So like kind of a swooping rope bridge and have a couple more spots similar to this where the fragile platforms are poking through. But if we make this a pit, we got to make it to where Lance can get back out in a second opening somewhere that we can get through. Or maybe this is not blocked at all, and this is open. What I was thinking for this is that we would place, where's it at? A large crate somewhere like in this area. Maybe stack a couple, so I have an idea. We'll get to it. Let the man cook. big ass pit. Not that big. What's the problem here? Something like that. Alright, back to it. Thank you very much, Butt Knuckle. I forgot to check in one of the most crucial areas. And we found it. Let's go back in here. Here we go. Let's get this going quickly here. Good. Don't make it too high to compass them back area. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, so let's make a little rope bridge across here. Start by bringing this guy over. It's about here. And I want to do... what I'm going to do is this. What I'm going to do is make a little flat platform here. Excuse me. What's this guy doing? Hanging out over here. Little flat area for your character, which is Lance. To kind of be able to get steady on. You don't want it to jump up and immediately be curved. At least in the way I'm thinking here. Here. We'll rope bridge it all the way over. Maybe we can start with the actual rope. Where's it at? Where you at? Where are we at, baby? Two trains of thought. You can make it all drop through, so you can get up here and drop down at any time. Or you can make it, like I have it here, which are ground pieces. So you can't drop through, but then we can add fragile spots where you have to run across it. It's going to fall up between your feet, and you have the potential of falling into this, whatever this pin is going to be. I think also if you are careful enough and time it right, you can make it just fine, depending on what kind of enemies we have up here and what kind of other hazards we got going on. This beat though is just driving me insane. Kidding. Let's go ahead and move this down a little bit. Something like that looks cool. Why I'm doing it this way right now is I can kind of give myself a scope of like the angle. We're gonna have to like, you know, stop something like right here. Maybe what we do is this actually. Is we'll scoot this in. Just start like right here. Me. Actually don't need that one. Let's see here. Looks pretty good. Thinking so? Alright, now to walk across and add in some fragile platforms along the way. I am. So it's a good learning lesson here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're using the right piece. So we want the platform ground, not the background piece. All right. So go ahead and place this back up here. Get that. Boom. All right. What I was trying to do is highlight both of these and make sure the colliders match. Oh my, look at that. It's almost perfect. Man, that's like when you get the perfect bite of a chocolate and vanilla swirl cone. Just a little bit of cone with that bite, and it's perfect. All right. So we got that going. What we're going to do now is add in a fragile platform piece. Maybe two. We're not sure yet. But first we want to see what we're working with here. Close but no cigar. Ooh. One at a time. One at a time. All right, looks pretty good. Maybe we'll leave a small gap here. I don't know. To rotate this a little bit, let's get it flush with the rope. This one's mysterious. A little slow banger. The track that is. Alright, so we're gonna bring this over. It's fine. We can adjust this guy back here if we need to. Hello. Alright, let's go ahead and add a longer section here. Welcome, Arch Armor. Appreciate you being here. We're just kind of creating a new level here for our game Swarm Hunter. Just taking my time, enjoying it, hanging out. If you have any questions, let me know. How is it looking? We'll give it a little test run in just a second here, but let me go ahead and get another walkable terrain piece here. Where did that go? Did that just disappear into the ether? I think it did. I mean, come on. Almost perfect. Doesn't look half bad. Doesn't look half bad. Could need some tweaking, but we'll get to that. So we got a nice little bridge here, little rope bridge. We'll make some support beams on either side. Leave the middle open. We can add even a nice little broken rope piece here. All right. Get a little test run just to see where we're at. Make sure everything works okay. I'll do a little background, foreground deco. Oh, yes, look at that. Nice. It's looking good. It's looking good. Okay. Looks great. You know what we forgot, chat, is to give ourselves a way up this area, which I was big on when I was first talking about designing that. Let's go ahead and throw in maybe a ladder. That should do it. Now we can test. Thank you for that. There, Butch. Okay, that's great. We can make those fall a bit faster. Perfect. We made it across. Alright. That works great. Now I'm wondering what we do with the rest of this. I think we could put some more. I could put some burning huts. Some drop down some burning huts across here. Okay, here we go, chat. Do you want me to finish out laying out? I got some ideas for the rest of this. Or do you want to go back to decor and background? Kind of chill, vibey, or do you want to get the creative thinking hats on and finish out the layout? Let me know what you think. So I'm thinking. What I'm thinking. So thinking we do fire up to here. Maybe actually, this is what we can do. Instead of slashed, turn that off. Or turn on singed. Maybe no fire coming out of it, but maybe it was burning. We'll do fire hazard all through here. This is drop through again. So if you go down there, maybe you can put something in between the fire, like maybe you want a tasty little piece of loot that you want to grab. And same for down here. We're going to do this right here. So we're going to make a little arch. A little connecting arch. Maybe it's not going to connect all the way, but maybe something like right here. Right here. Hell, we can even give it a little gap. Or you know what we can do. This is what we'll do. I like that. I like that. You know what actually could be pretty cool for this part right here? Hold on. Just had an idea. What if we made it like kind of like broken and crumbled? So bear with me. Why does that always do that? Like this. And then we'll do maybe even let's actually pull it back a little bit. Something like that. I'm gonna let's do some actual fire hazard down here. Yes. No, hold on. These two need to go. And we'll do a medium fire hazard here. Ugh, come on now. Come on now. So my thinking is that this is like kind of collapsed. We'll put like a nice little decoy thing of like a collapsed. I'll show you right now, actually. Let's do this. Is it underwalkable? No. is. Here it is. Found it. See, like this is pretty much similar to that. What we'll do is like rotate it to be kind of like this. Down here, maybe kind of broken and collapsed. We'll do it as like a piece of shard. Support. We'll do a small one. Maybe. Might go big here. Kind of something like that. You can kind of see it. It's pretty cool. Do another. Make this a little smaller. Just like a piece of wood. Kind of like that. We'll do another chart support here. No. One of these. We'll make this one smaller. What we'll do is cap it off with like a piece of, that's too small. That's too small, way too small. Cap it off with something like this. So it kind of looks like maybe it broke. I like that. What do y'all think? Hopefully it's cool. And can do something like this. Where we'll do side tuck it, but we'll make sure that it's behind. There we go. Something like that. Where it's kind of broken and not connected anymore. I'm liking what we got going on here. And we'll put like a regular one. Maybe we'll do like a no, I want to go this. What does this look like? Just bring it in a little bit. How does that look? And then we'll cap it off with something like kind of like that, maybe? Something like this. Maybe like something like that. Kind of looks like the fire's creeping up on that piece of wood there. All right, then we can do another one of these. Where's it at? There you go. Duplicate that. Bring that over here. And we're gonna rotate it into this, like so. Kind of like so. So now you have to drop down. Yep. Whoa. Over on there. We'll add some burnt grass. Okay. That's cool. That's pretty cool to me. Hope y'all like it. Let me get these huts cleaned up a little bit. You got any more in here? Drop through. Make a fire. Not. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. So where are we at here? Let's go ahead and round this off. We'll make. Excuse me. this up a little bit. Like that. What did you fire here? Get some spikes down there. This you can't drop down in, so we can kind of put whatever we want down here. I think it's not damaged yet. Maybe we do a mixture of fire and spikes down here. Just for fun, let's see what happens. That seems too big. We'll leave a small gap. Put some tasty loot down there. Yep, we're onto something now.
You are no dummy, but you're kind of acting like one. You used to crush it in school, outsmarting opponents on the field, and now, well, you're still smart, but not exactly challenging yourself. You could be advancing nuclear engineering in the world's most powerful navy. You were born for it, so make the smart choice. You can be smart.
I think this is a pretty cool layout. Appreciate everyone watching. I'm going to do another like 15 minutes or so. Keep this rolling while I clean it up. Let me know what you think. If you have any issues, you want to see something different. I think that's pretty cool. At least for like an overall layout there. Pretty much in the air. Got some cool elevation stuff going here. I like it. Could even do like an alternative route. Give me an idea. Just for fun. Let's just see what. Let's just mess with something here. Well, I've got y'all. Kind of double check where our camera height is here. too high. Maybe back that off a little bit to about here. Maybe here. What we'll do is right here. Nope. Could use an alternate route. I don't think that's a bad idea. So now I'm thinking that, maybe you want to take the top route. Maybe that jump is a little too high. We'll have to test it and see. Can always bring it back down. We can throw some huts up here. Something kind of cool. And maybe even something like, we can go to decor. Excuse me. Toss this something like a little 200. Turn this off. We'll scale it down. It's at 1 point. Wait, what's that 1.4? No, that's at 1. Scale it down to like, let's say 0.8. What does it look like? Let's try 0.75. There we go. Not gonna get too crazy with it. Just to see what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like. Smaller here. Should have done both of them at the same time. It's fine. It's fine. Kind of what I was talking about from the beginning is kind of put some in the background, a little platform, a little scaffolding area. I'll continue to mess with that. All right. Well, let me go ahead and test this little part right here. Then I'll move on to getting that background added in. And we'll call it. And I'll get this work done. Can't even go through the last level. I finished it up. The one with the path blocking structure. Turned out pretty nice. Alright, I think that looks pretty sweet. Looks pretty sweet, feels pretty good. First, I'm going to give myself a little space here from the starting grid. So we can kind of see what we're working with. There we go. That'll work. Some background stuff here. Let's see where our dips are here, or our dippy dips. Okay. We can do one of these. Right here. Height-wise, pretty good. So in the beginning, we can kind of do match the height there. Can be in the background running. Okay. Let's see here. Like something like that. Let's toss in some extra rocks right back here. Let's make that 254. Bring that in front of, there we go. And we'll do a little bit of these right here. Okay, that looks pretty cool. What we got? What's our height like? Okay. Okay. Let's toss in some. Maybe we want to actually do a little bit more grass back here. No. It's too tall. So what we can do is add this to. Yeesh. All right. Little background area is looking pretty cool. So we have a whole nother layer of background trees, and they're set to a parallax. So when you have this like front row background, even with the trees that you see kind of in this area. Like these, they're going to be stuck with the map, moving along with the player. But maybe we don't clutter all that up too much right in a second. I'm going to add another that. Stick in the background, bring it down a little bit. Flip them around. Some nice little space here. Want to go like extra corny here, extra fieldy? Not so sure. What I can do is do a little bit of this. What am I seeing right here? Rocks. This guy here. I'll just use that one. Okay, I think we're onto something here. Nice little background going. Got a couple things here. We almost worked our way up to the pit. And I can finish the pit on later. So we got a bug here. All dunked up. Go ahead and add some decor stuff here. Excuse me. How do I add a tree? I think right in this area. I don't know why, but I'm seeing a tree. Have to layer that a little bit. That's not quite right. There we go. I always like this guy. I like this guy a lot. Tall and skinny. Just like the houses down here. Nice. All right. And we're going to put some little covering on the tree. And I like to do that just because you don't want to, I mean, if we had roots and stuff, sure, but like if this tree's in here, it's gonna make it worked into the ground a little bit. A good one to use is this guy. We can toss in even one of these back here. We'll say this is at layer -211. And instead of hiding behind that, let's go ahead and bring it right about there. I think that'll work. Let me lock up these into the backgrounds. And these are plants and trees. Boom. All right, it's starting to come together. That's starting to feel good. It's starting to feel good. I think we're going to want to make it a little chaos. I mean, right here it doesn't seem that bad. But what we can do is start kind of unfolding the chaos as we spread through here. This would be a good spot to have like drop-down spiders, some enemies, maybe that you only encounter when you take the lower path. Anywho, let's go ahead and toss some more grass up here. Maybe let's angle that a little bit, kind of on a hill. Do you want to do another bush? Maybe come sticking out of the back there? Kind of like so, but we can make it like, let's say it's at -250. Kind of peeking. Not cover up the rocks all the way. Grass. A little piece like right under here, maybe. Looks fine. Put a little fencing back here. Drop that down to -250. We're going to tuck it behind the background grass. I like to do this. You could probably put it in front of it if you had enough room, depending on what you're doing. But what I like to do is just kind of hide it right back there, like so. Maybe we can even take this one, flip it 180. Let's see what that's going to look like if we do something like that at -250 here. Yep, I think that works. Kind of, who knows what's going on back there. Like that. Let's work our way to the front here. Anything we want to see right here? Maybe one of this kind of stone piece. Like, yeah, that's pretty cool. That maybe. Stone piece there. Some sort. Like this guy. Set him at like -230. Let's see what this looks like. That's pretty cool. We'll get to some of this foreground layering here. Some grass. All we do is cover up that piece. Back here. Let's do something like here, maybe. Those guys. Some stones here. Some rocks. We need some rocks. Some kind of rock stuff here. Looks pretty cool. Okay. Sure I'm not forgetting anything. Anything that we want to see in particular. To plant some. We're gonna do some hay back here. It's minus 200. Kind of give it that feel like we're kind of near the farm. Some of these. Go ahead and duplicate that guy. Alright, that's fine. Got. I've got to do it. Got to do it. That's looking pretty cool. Okay, it's gonna sit right about here. Do some foreground, maybe add some parallax, maybe to some fences or some hay and wheat. That's looking pretty cool, looking pretty jazzed. Don't want to forget about some logs too. So maybe we can do something like how's that perspective look? Does it look weird? Kinda looks okay, I think. Nope, I don't like that. That still might look weird to me. We'll figure that later. Alright. Well, we're getting caught up here to about the halfway point, so I'm going to wrap this up. I really appreciate you all being here. Stick with me as I go. Got to recreate before we can obliterate. I'll put something cool back there. But this is a good wrapping point for everybody that stuck around to watch this and joined me, participated. I really appreciate y'all. Tomorrow we're going to do a little dev update. 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. And give you a little update on what's going on. Short and sweet. Say what's up. Wish you all a happy Friday. But again, thank you for joining tonight, and we'll catch you soon.